How do you know Kim ain't cool with Kim? They need to tell her now. The rain is coming. The feds is coming.
Okay, right.
The feds is coming. There's nothing I can do about it. It's worse than Diddy.
Someone close to the family just said it out loud, something they were never supposed to say. And now another voice is rising above the noise, clearer, sharper, like it's been waiting for this exact moment to be heard.
Kardashian is a prostitute. I'm not going to edit this opinion. Kim Kardashian is a prostitute.
Harsh words, explosive words, the kind that don't just disappear. But here's the real question. What if this isn't just noise anymore? What if someone from inside the family, someone who saw everything, is finally ready to confirm it?
There are Jeffrey Epstein right now that we don't know about?
There's a million of them.
And what if the one man who married into the Kardashian empire, the one who stood close enough to see how it really works, is finally ready to tear the curtain down? Because Travis Barker did not just marry Kourtney Kardashian. He stepped inside a machine built on image, control, power, and silence. And if the whispers are true, he may now be standing on the edge of saying what nobody inside that world was ever supposed to say. There is a side of the Kardashian story that almost never gets discussed. Not the reality show chaos. It's not the billion-dollar brands, the polished interviews, or the perfectly filtered image sold to the world. Something darker, something quieter, something far more calculated. For nearly 2 decades, that side has survived behind a shield stronger than lawyers, PR teams, or media spin. It has survived behind silence. The kind of silence that exists when everyone connected to it has too much to protect and even more to lose. But now, as new allegations involving Kris Jenner and Jeffrey Epstein continue to spread online, people are beginning to revisit the dots that were ignored for years. Dots that point toward private islands, elite circles, luxury, deals that raise more questions than answers, and a network of influence where power seems to move in silence. At the center of it all stands a woman many believe built her empire by mastering one thing above all else: control. Control of the narrative, control of the scandals, control of the secrets. And if Travis Barker truly begins to speak, then that control may be facing its first real crack. A door could open that was never meant to open at all. Now, to be absolutely clear, none of this has been proven in court. These are allegations, online claims, rumors, and unverified filings that continue to circulate without a final legal conclusion. But even with that said, the pattern people think they see, and the timing of everything now coming back into focus, has become impossible for many to ignore. So let's go through it slowly. Piece by piece, name by name, connection by connection. Because in early 2025, one of the most talked about document releases connected to Jeffrey Epstein's network reignited a fire that many believed would never fully go out.
Tangled. You know, the whole thing is just, I think everybody who looks at it realizes this is a rabbit hole that just goes to the center of the earth. And there's so many people involved in it.
Joe Rogan has been one of the few mainstream voices willing to even touch this topic in public. It's the kind of voice that doesn't ignore uncomfortable questions. And now, according to growing online speculation, his attention may be shifting toward one family. A family that has never been officially named in any Epstein indictment, yet somehow keeps showing up in the background, in the margins, in the conversations people aren't supposed to have. The Kardashians. Speculation didn't come out of nowhere. It reignited when a victim complaint surfaced in the Ghislaine Maxwell case, not accusing the Kardashians of the crimes people expected, but something quieter, something more calculated. The claim suggested that Maxwell maintained a close connection with members of the Kardashian circle. And after Epstein's death, Allegedly attempted to use a victim's identity for financial gain, identity manipulation, fraud, control. According to that complaint, victim believed her identity and funds were used to promote business ventures linked to the Kardashian brand. No documents were presented, no hard proof confirmed. Even the complainant admitted the evidence wasn't in her hands. But the filings still went through, and that was enough, because once it hit the surface, it didn't feel random anymore. It felt familiar, like a piece of a story people had been quietly whispering about for years. A pattern hiding in plain sight. The idea that Kris Jenner didn't just build a brand, but something far more complex. A network, a pipeline, a system.
Down and decided to sell her daughter's body for fame and money, and she was successful.
For some people, this isn't exaggeration anymore. It's a model, a system. And if even a fraction of these allegations holds any truth, then Kris Jenner wasn't just managing careers. She was operating in a space far more complex. Space One analysts described as the sticky layer between power structures, where influence moves quietly and control is never seen, only felt.
Jeffrey Epstein is part of a class of what are effectively professional fixers. And this is a kind of class of professional who sits not really within a particular government or private sector institution, but in the kind of sticky layer between them that connects them all.
That phrase, the sticky layer, it explains everything. Because according to the allegations, that's exactly where Kris Jenner was operating. Not inside government, not inside Hollywood, but somewhere in between. A space where connections are currency, where access becomes power, and where influence moves without ever being seen. The claims suggest she wasn't just building careers. She was building leverage, quietly connecting the right people to the right opportunities and profiting from the relationships that followed. And if those claims are even partially true, then the picture becomes darker, much darker. Because what some believe she was offering wasn't just access, was something far more valuable, something that could open doors at the highest levels of power. According to unverified allegations and years of online speculation, her daughters were part of that system, not as individuals making random choices, but as pieces in a structure designed to generate influence, wealth, and control. Again, there is no confirmed evidence, no charges. Every accusation has been denied. But despite that, the rumors refuse to disappear. And then there's one detail that stands out more than anything else. One name that never seems to appear in any of these allegations: Kourtney Kardashian. Why, some believe she refused. That she saw what was happening and chose to step away. That she was the only one who said no. And if that's true, then the question becomes, who made sure she stayed out of it? Many point to Travis Barker, because Travis isn't an outsider looking in. He's someone who's been around that world for years, long before the relationship became public, long before the headlines. He saw the environment, the parties, the connections, the carefully controlled image presented to the world. And now, according to speculation, he may be ready to speak. And that changes everything. Because if Travis talks, he's not just repeating rumors. He's speaking from proximity, from experience, from a position very few people have ever had. He knows how the machine operates. And if the allegations tied to Epstein hold any truth at all, then Travis Barker may be one of the only people close enough and independent enough to confirm what really happened behind the scenes.
I was foolish to spend time with him. I was one of many people who regret ever knowing him. Every minute I spent with him, I regret.
That's how it usually starts. When the truth begins to surface, powerful people don't confront it. They distance themselves. They deny. They reframe the narrative. But what happens when someone with nothing left to lose decides to stop protecting the ones who do? Because on November 8th, 2024, Kris Jenner celebrated her birthday inside one of the most exclusive estates in Beverly Hills. A night that reportedly cost millions, tended by some of the most powerful names in the world: Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle. A gathering that, to many, didn't feel like just another celebration, but something far more calculated, especially because of who else was there. Lou Taylor, a figure long surrounded by controversy. With deep ties to both Britney Spears' conservatorship and the Kardashian circle. And for online investigators, the timing of that night raised even more questions, because it happened just as new waves of Epstein-related documents were beginning to surface again. And suddenly, that guest list didn't just look powerful, it looked familiar. Network reconnecting behind closed doors. Now, to be clear, none of this proves anything. But it does raise questions, because according to referenced reports, Bill Gates' name appears repeatedly in documents connected to Epstein. Not once or twice, but dozens of times. Suggesting a long-term association that continued even after Epstein's past conviction. Gates has denied any wrongdoing, calling certain claims false. But the connections themselves have kept speculation alive. And that's where the story begins to shift. Because once people started questioning the network, they started questioning the money. Kylie Jenner's billion-dollar image, the $600 million deal that was meant to solidify her status, and then suddenly cracks in the narrative. Reports challenged the valuation. Allegations of inflated numbers surfaced, nothing legally proven. But enough to make people ask a different question. If the numbers didn't add up, then where did the money really come from? Some theories point toward other controversial financial systems, including figures connected to Britney Spears' past management. Again, unproven. But in a story built on patterns, every thread matters. And then there's another layer. One that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. A church founded under Kris Jenner's name, officially a place of faith. But according to critics, functioning more like a financial shield, a structure where money can move quietly, where donations, fees, and influence intersect without clear visibility. Nothing confirmed illegal, but to some observers, it fits a familiar pattern. The same kind of structure you'd expect to see operating in that sticky layer between power and wealth. And just when it feels like the story can't get any darker, another detail emerges. Something pulled directly from communications, linked to Epstein's network, an email. Short, disturbing, and impossible to ignore.
There's one where this one guy is saying to him, "Thank you for the torture video." It's literally a part of an email. The actual quote, "Thank you for the torture," like enjoyed the torture video.
It's so gross.
That email exists. It's real. It's part of a much larger web. It's a chain of communication that stretches across hundreds of names tied to Epstein's world. But here's the unsettling part. We still don't know everything. Who sent it? Who received it? What else is hidden behind what we haven't seen yet? 'Cause the fact that something like this exists at all tells you the kind of environment this network operated in. And it forces a deeper question. If the Kardashians were anywhere near that world, what did they know? What did they witness? And what did they choose to ignore? And that's exactly why Travis Barker matters. He's not a victim trying to tell his story. He's not a prosecutor building a case. He's not chasing attention, headlines, or a book deal. Something far more dangerous to a system built on silence. He's someone who was there, a husband, a father, a man who stepped inside one of the most powerful families in modern entertainment and saw things that didn't feel right. And if Travis ever decides to speak, he won't be guessing, he'll be confirming. He can explain the gaps, the missing names, the silence around Kourtney. He can explain what was happening behind closed doors, the parties, the connections, the network itself. And once a voice like that breaks through, doesn't just open a door, it shatters it. And when that door breaks, there's no closing it again.
There's one where this one guy is saying to him, "Thank you for the torture video." It's literally a part of an email.
That level of depravity doesn't exist on its own. Never does. It lives inside networks, protected networks, hidden structures that link the powerful the wealthy, and the untouchable. And if Kris Jenner was ever part of that world, then Travis Barker may be the only person close enough and bold enough to finally say it out loud.
How do you know Kim and cool with Kim? They need to tell her now. The rain is coming. The feds is coming. The feds is coming. There's nothing I can do about it. It's worse than this.
That wasn't just a statement, it was a warning. It's a signal that something bigger is still unfolding behind the scenes. 'Cause the Epstein files, they're not done. More names, more documents, more footage, more pieces of a puzzle that refuses to stay buried, and for all the power, all the influence, all the control the Kardashians have built over the years. This is one thing they may not be able to control, because the moment questions start spreading, they don't stop. Joe Rogan is asking them. Victim complaints are surfacing again. And somewhere in the middle of it all, Travis Barker is watching, waiting, possibly deciding how much he's willing to say. Because if he speaks, it won't just add to the noise. It will change the direction of the entire story. The empire Kris Jenner built on image, silence, and absolute control may now be facing the one force it was never designed to survive: the truth. Now, let's be clear. None of this has been proven in court. These are allegations, theories, and unverified claims still circulating without a final legal conclusion. The Kardashians have denied everything. They've called it false, baseless, fabricated, and they could be right. But even then, the questions don't disappear. The patterns don't fade. Okay. The connections don't simply go away. And when someone who has been inside that world, someone who has seen how it operates, starts to suggest that there's more beneath the surface, that's when this stops being just another rumor, starts becoming something much harder to ignore.
Tangled. The whole thing is just, I think everybody who looks at it realizes this is a rabbit hole that just goes to the center of the earth. And there's so many people involved